walks Dave, walks right up. Hey, Henry, been waiting long? I'm like, fuck, uh-oh. My stomach is like burning with nervousness. We sit down at a table like this big. He's like right in my face. I'm setting up the tape recorder. And I'm going, wow, I have all these questions. I'm so prepared because I'm sitting like 2 inches away from Diamond Dave. I'm like, well, Dave, I could barely talk because it took me like 10 minutes to kind of cool out, and he was really friendly. But the thing is, when you interview him, he does the interview. You don't have any part in it. Turn the tape recorder on, his face lights up. Hit the record button, he becomes alive. Hey! He watches the leader tape go, and he watches that reel tape hit that record head. Well, off to the races. Dave, I'm glad you asked me that, man. Me and my friend Paul D'Angelo, we are the Picasso brothers, and we brought you all the videos all the way from Pretty Woman to the one we're working on now, and we kind of go with a Cecil B. DeMille kind of mission where we use a cast of characters, everyone we can find or afford, and if you notice, in all my pictures, everyone is passive. It's like a Kurosawa film where Dave is the interlocutor. I'm the one who puts it all together. And you've got everyone in all their own little worlds. Like you've got the woman in the all-night convenience store who doesn't want to kiss the Hispanic guy. And you can tell that they're in totally different universes. But we don't like to have any kind of a pretension thing. We just like to go with what we've got. Because every day I look in the mirror and I don't see Valentino. I sing, I don't hear Caruso. I hear he's coming. I always thought my music is best understood by children and small animals. I think hard rock is great for watching hardcore sports. I like to just turn off the volume on the TV and turn up Led Zeppelin and watch football. I'm like, I haven't even said anything yet. Except like, and you don't need to say anything. Rollins. I'm glad you asked me that, man. Life is a full contact sport, man. People walk around going, where's the action? Where's the action? Man, there is no action. There is no action. You create the action, man. You are the action, man. You make it. You make it. Sometimes you'll be on the East Coast and after hours dump at 5:30 in the morning. You have a vision in your head, and it takes 6 weeks of meetings and getting up at 5:30 in the morning to transcribe that vision from between your legs or in your head, or the visceral stuff's even harder to get up there, Henry. Once makes it know that he knows your name. Hey, Henry, but we get these videos going, and we just go all around the world and ski and parachute and swan dive and just do everything. I like everything. It's just like, oh, well, hey man, don't take life so seriously, man. It's like, do you read books? I read everything. Comic books, Encyclopedia Britannica, phone books, back of cereal box, I read everything. Okay, you know, unbelievable. This guy is just like, wah! And so, he said some shit that was so cool.
Do another line, Dave.
He said, he who laughs, lasts. Yeah. He says, you add a little bit of humor to your fury, you can remain furious for longer and know very well that you can't be furious all the time. So you gotta keep your humor going. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I asked him about perspective, because I know he goes on all these insane hiking trips to test himself against the elements, you know? He goes, well, put it this way. With perspective, here in LA, don't get eaten by something is down around number 28 on your priority list. But when you're deep water kayaking in the South Pacific, don't get eaten suddenly rises up to number 2 on your priority list. This is healthy. I'm like, oh, fucking A, man, that's so cool. And he said this one thing about discipline, because the guy, he's in amazing shape. He's just like, you know, he's a black belt. He's been doing martial arts for like 20 years, kickboxing, unbelievable. He's in amazing shape. He's rock climbing, does all this shit. And he says, well, for me, I use a lot of discipline. And through that discipline, I reach a certain amount of achievement. And through that achievement, I get my pride. And that's all you get at the end of all of this is pride. The money comes and goes. The women come and go. The bass players come and go. But the pride remains. He said it's pride that gets John Lee Hooker on stage every night after 70 years old. It's pride that got Quayle elected to vice president. Check it out though. He said, I'm definitely not a supporter there, but I can salute the pride. I went, okay. He goes, and just like with me, Henry, I bet you don't like every record I've ever done. In fact, you probably think some of the stuff I've done is like really horrible, and you think some of my videos are pretty fucking stupid. But you can always salute the pride and salute the fact that I get up and do them. And I went, yeah, I agree with you, because I thought the record, that skyscraper thing, was just horrible. And I said, yeah, I agree with you. I don't think everything you do is great, but I'm into the fact that you don't ever stop doing it. And it was really cool to hang out with this guy, because it occurred to me halfway through talking to him, here's a guy who's a multi-millionaire. All of his records go multi-platinum. He doesn't have to do anything. He's set for life financially. He doesn't have to make a record. Doesn't have to tour. If I don't tour, I don't eat, you know? If he doesn't tour, he just hangs out and swings from vines and swims in his pool and drives his Porsche. I mean, but instead, he goes on 18-month world tours and makes records and goes mountain climbing and shit, you know? And it's a pretty cool guy. It's really interesting. At minute 50 on the tape, I had a 100-minute tape. Minute 50, the tape recorder turns off. Click. He goes, "Will it?" Your tape player just turned off. Face drained. Totally just stone face. I go, oh yeah, right. Turn the tape recorder over. The tape over. Hit record. He watches the leader tape. Guy's such a pro. Watches the leader tape. As soon as like the tape hits recorded, ding ding, back off again, and like his face lights up. Hey, anyway, let your readers will probably want to know. Little does he know that my article is going to get hacked to pieces. And there's only going to be like 30 or 40 words of his in the entire article. So I'm just letting him go on and on. We talked for 3 hours. I said, you know, and it's Friday night. Don't you figure that David Lee Roth has like 90 15-year-olds waiting for him somewhere? I said, you know, Dave, it's Friday night. I'll let you go. I figured, he goes, oh man, come on, this is my evening. I'm having a great time. I'm like, okay. We ran out of tape and we just kept on talking and stuff. And so I asked him about like what music he listens to. Everything. I buy records by the pound. I go to town, I get in line, I just go, hey, what are you listening to? Is it good? Should I buy it? Hey, wow! And so I said, what was the last 5 records you bought? He goes, ZZ Top, Kid Frost, NWA, and some other thing. I said, and the new Randy Travis record. You know, Crying Your Beer, country western. I'm like, Randy Travis? You? He goes, yeah, my woman just left me. Really? I mean, a woman leaves David Lee Roth. Believe it. Unbelievable. You wouldn't figure a woman, you know, you're so fucked up by 80 years of Cream magazine. Not every woman in the world is throwing themselves at David Lee Roth. Oh, I don't believe it. Believe it. It was really funny though, because these girls were like attaching themselves to him during the interview. These girls, David Lee Roth! You know, like sucking his face off, and he's kind of like, and they're like, okay, dear. And he said he was so crass. He just looks at the girl, he goes, me and this guy are doing some business. And from out of nowhere, the silent shadow bodyguard comes out of nowhere, silently, invisibly, and with lightning speed, removes this woman, carries her off the ground to the bar, puts her on a bar stool and buys her a drink before she could even inhale. Totally unobtrusive. He was totally cool to her and just got her out of the picture. It was, the guy is such a pro. She was like gone with a glass of booze in her hand before she could even turn around. And like no one noticed. And like soon as people started seeing him, all these songs he's covered over the years started turning up on the jukebox, and people came over and just going, man, I fucking love Van Halen, man, can I have your autograph? And you see him just going like, and he signed one autograph in the corner of a napkin, and he wrote S-T-E and let the ink run off the paper, and then he goes W-O-N-D, and the ink goes off the paper. And he holds it up to me, he goes, you know what that is? And he goes up to the guy, you know what that is? And the guy goes, what, Dave? He goes, that's Stevie Wonder signing his autograph. And I'm like, okay, Dave, I won't put that in the magazine. Like, thanks, man. I'll just tell it to 300 people in Toronto. But anyway, it was fun hanging out with a real live rock star and finding out his woman bailed on him. Kind of made him a bit more human to me. Of course, two women did run after him to his car in the parking lot of the place. I don't know whatever happened. I never saw the guy again. He goes, I'll call you next week. I said, sure you will. Gave him my number. He didn't call me. I waited. No, I didn't. I just want to tell you one last story, and then it'll be 1 o'clock in the morning, and we can all go do something else. Yeah, I guess not. Bar time. Oh no, no more booze. What are we gonna do? We'll have to think. We'll have to be human. We'll have to be human beings. We'll have to relate to each other. Oh, but I won't have an excuse. I'll have no excuse when I'm not able to get a hard on now. Years ago, I met this guy in Texas. I did a talking show, and it was kind of like a concept set. I did the whole thing on depression. And I don't know how to do much. I'm an expert at jerking off. Every time. Perfecto. I'm an expert at getting bummed out. Like you are. You're so good at it. Like when the depression monkey bites your back, you're just like, ah! You're depressed. Perfect. Every ounce, every pore is depressed. You can get totally bummed out. So I did this whole thing about getting bummed out. And afterwards, this guy walks up to me. He's like really funky looking guy, thick glasses, flat top. And I'm like, and I said, oh great, an alien, one of my people. And he goes, hey Henry, can I talk to you for a minute? I said, yeah, sure. He goes, I really dig that thing you did about depression, man. I'm like, okay. I mean, I really get into it. All right. I mean, I know where you're coming from. Okay. Man, you really hit the nail on the head. Okay. Okay, got it. You know, I got it, I'm gone. I said, okay, you want to change the subject now? What are you getting at? Well, I gotta tell you, man, I get real depressed. I go, yeah, you know how it is. I know what you're going through. Wow! I said, yeah, me too. And he says, well, one time I got real depressed, I tried to kill myself. And like, you know, who hasn't tried to kill themselves? Like, just put on a Morrissey record and... That gets me about as close to death as I want to get. Take it off, please! I'll mow the lawn! And so you hear all the, yeah, I tried to kill myself. Well, what'd you do? Well, I took my nail clippers and like clipped my thumbnail and tried to bleed to death. You know, people are lightweight. Every once in a while you meet someone who really goes for it. And so he goes, well, I tried to slash my wrists. I go, like what? Like with the Susie and the Banshees record and a nail file? Oh, I'm on the edge. Come on, bleed. And he went, no, like this. And he shows me his forearm, and he's got this scar that goes from his wrist to his elbow. And it's like this gnarly gash. I'm like, you did that to yourself? He's like, yeah. I go, you're still alive? He goes, well, I nearly lost all my blood, but yeah, I'm alive. They put like 3 quarts of blood back in me, and I'm like, damn, man, you know, he lost some incredible amount of blood. And so he goes, well, I was still depressed, so I tried to kill myself again. And I believe everything now. I'm like, yeah? How this time? It was with a shotgun? And I'm like, you know, oh, wait a minute. How do you miss with one of those? Was it loaded? Well, yeah, I aimed it at my head and the gun slipped and I shot myself in the leg. Shows me his fake leg. You blew your leg off? Yeah. I can't help it. I start laughing. I'm like, man, he goes, I know it's funny. I said, that is unbelievable. You blew your leg off? He's like, yeah, I did. So he goes, anyway, I'm in the hospital. They patched me up and I'm